Okay, hope everyone's doing well. Uh, Today is the 1st of May 2020. Uh, just before I was about to do this stream, I became aware of uh, Niall McConnell's video titled "You've Heard the Lies, Now for the Truth." Okay, well, he attacked. I can understand an individual defending themselves. I have no problem with that. And Niall's a big boy and he's involved in politics, so he needs to get used to being criticised and called out when people think something is amiss. Now, he basically called out Justin Barrett and the National Party and insinuated that all his critics are either members of the MP or associated with Justin Barrett. Well, let me tell you, Niall, I've been super critical of Justin Barrett. I've also been critical of the National Party. I do believe that they have a lot to offer. There's maybe much work to be done. However, what you don't seem to realise is, Niall, that it's well over a decade since I even spoke to Justin Barrett. I don't know about the other people who've made videos about you, but I haven't spoken to him at all in over 10 years, probably even longer than that. I think the last time I might have spoke to Justin Barrett was when he ran in the European election, and I supported him in that election and put up posters and distributed leaflets. So it's quite possible it's been that long since I spoke to the chap. As I said, I've been critical of him. I'm an independent nationalist. I don't speak for anyone other than myself, and so I want to clarify that. I'll just address another thing here. As in the last video with the Irish megaphone, I see a lot of deflection here from Niall, trying to project onto others. Originally, people wanted transparency from him, and in the megaphone Q&A, he didn't. He again deflected towards everyone else. People just genuinely wanted some transparency where all this money was going. That's all. And he didn't give any information in that regard. I think he mentioned that he was going to get an auditor, and well, fair enough. Now he's talking about shilling a heron, and he mentions that in this video. Well, that's only only started up recently, only started up after he lost in the general election. So he's, from what I can see, he's basically, rather than address where all the money went prior to him forming this new political party, I don't know if they're registered or whatever. It's not that, Niall. People want to know where the tens of thousands of euros went prior to your setting up this. You may be coming up with some good ideas. I'm not saying you didn't. But the thing is, your ideas, you have other people fund those ideas, and the same with your political newspaper. Fine, fair enough, but I know quite a bit about setting up papers, and I've been involved with Dick Hogan in the sales and distribution of newspapers. I know he put everything on the line. Many of us have put our homes on the line as well with our mortgages, and you're not the only one, Niall, and you're very blessed actually to own a farm and to own that land, as you make out in your video there. You're a sheep farmer, you know, and you wouldn't be a sheep farmer if there wasn't money to be made in it. And I'm surrounded by farmers here. They're all in it to make a good living and take care of their families and pay their mortgages and all the rest of it. Most farmers in Ireland are doing reasonably well, and the reason I can say that is that the vast majority of farmers around me, both sheep farmers, dairy farmers and beef farmers, have gigantic homes and have jeeps and lots of cars and everything else, and some of the best equipment, farming equipment you can get. So there is money to be made in farming. In regard to the video I made, it wasn't very articulate, and I understand that. I've always been rough around the edges, and many other people have articulated their concerns in their video content much better than I did. But what's important to me is truth. Being truthful about a person, and also taking into mind that you must be just in your criticism of that person. Now, I've seen a number of videos regarding you, Niall. Some of them, I have to say, were quite humorous. I know I was angry when I made the last video, but I believe that was a just anger. Have I held on to that anger? No, I haven't. I've seen what other people have seen. I've watched their videos, and I've seen absolutely no malice, no hatred whatsoever directed towards you. You may interpret it differently, but I haven't. I haven't detected. There's one particular YouTube content creator, and as I said, he made some very humorous videos regarding you, Niall. However, there was absolutely no malice, lies, hatred there. You, for that individual and for my video, I can't speak for everyone. There's a genuine, those videos were made out of genuine concern for our own people. That's the only reason. And the only reason I made that video was because of your deflection in the video with the Q&A with the megaphone. You started calling out everyone else, and you mentioned Justin Barrett. And even if I didn't see eye to eye with Justin Barrett, I know the years he's committed to the cause, and I will defend anyone who have put in decades long, even if I didn't like him, even if I despised him. No one can ever take away from what they did over those years, and many lives were saved because of their activism, and there's nothing more nationalistic than saving the lives of your own people, as far as I'm concerned. Now, when people criticize, when people see people being used and fleeced for money, naturally they're going to voice their concern about that. And as I said, there was absolutely no malice in any of the videos I've seen. All I've seen is genuine concern. Now, in your video, you didn't address the money that was sent to you and how you spent it on all the other projects. Again, as far as I'm concerned, that was a deflection. You made no mention about the website. Experienced people know that no one needs a website like the one you have. No one. I don't, maybe there's huge corporations out there that would spend that kind of money on a website. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get back into that. The important thing is also, as truth tellers, myself and some of the other content creators made about you, people end up despising us because of it. There's no reward in it whatsoever because our intentions are true. I couldn't care less if I lost every subscriber I had. I don't give a rat's ass about getting large numbers of subscribers, likes, and glowing comments. And I know the other individual, particularly the chap that made some of those hilarious videos, I've no doubt maybe he lost subscribers. In other words, there's no reward, there's no gain for us in any way whatsoever by calling you out, Niall. And as I said, I bit my lip for a long time, and the only reason I responded the other night was I didn't like you calling out someone that has put decades work into a cause. And I'm totally biased, I will admit, when it comes to pro-lifers. I'm extremely protective of pro-lifers because of the work they do and because I know they save lives. So don't ever attack a pro-lifer when you're around me, because I will personally deck you, and I don't even have to like the person, that pro-lifer. I have so much respect and admiration for them, so I feel a need to defend them and defend the work they've done over the years. And as I said, there's absolutely no reward in this for anyone who has been calling you out, and I'm absolutely convinced that it was a genuine concern. I called out Gemma O'Doherty, who I personally think is a shill. She tweeted either during the last election or after the last election that she now was the voice of the pro-life movement in Ireland, and I pulled her up on that, and people reacted to that, and she was claiming that somehow, she said it in her own words actually, that the National Party and she were the voice of the unborn in Ireland. And I doubt very much that the National Party went along with that. It's just another one of her crazy claims. Has she done anything for the pro-life movement since then? No. Was she a supporter of abortion? Yes. If you look at her comments, where she said it was about time the people were given a referendum on choice, and she said if she had been elected president that she would have signed it into law. I see her criticising other people for supporting abortion, which is fair enough, but in my opinion I reckon she did vote for abortion, and to claim to be the voice of the unborn, I wasn't going to stand by and allow her to do that. How dare she? But it was, in fact, well, I can't say factually, but I reckon she was tormenting pro-life groups to endorse her campaign, maybe to give her money and support and whatever, and they refused to, and rightly so. Who wants to get caught up with her, in all honesty? But that's neither here nor there. I made a video about her. I honestly believe she's a shill and she works for the state. I put that video up on BitChute. I outlined some of the reasons why that is my opinion. There was much more information I could have given. It was a live stream I was doing, and I won't mention the name because I'm not here for self-promotion, and I knew my audience were American. So it was pointless going into too much detail, but I'm of the opinion she's a shill. But I'm here to talk about you, Niall. I mentioned in the last video about basically your risk taking. You take the risks, but that's with other people's money. That's not something I'm making up. because you're constantly asked for money for different projects. The setting up of a newspaper, I've set up businesses, a number of businesses over the years. I've approached bank managers on a couple of occasions. I had to have business plans, detailed business plans, my finances, projections, and all the rest of it. I can't remember how much I was looking for, but one of the main questions was, the bank manager asked me how much money was I going to invest in the business. And that's an essential element of getting a business loan. I don't know what the situation is now, that's a very long time ago. But people want to know, bank managers want to know, are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? Now, from what I can gather, most of the money, I can't say all of the money, came from your supporters. I personally, as I said in my last video, that people need to take risks, but to depend on others to cover the cost of your risk doesn't sit well with me. As I said in the last one, I may be rambling here. Okay, if you don't like it, don't watch the rest of the video. I personally, were I to set up a newspaper, I would certainly have all my figures in place, my short and long term plans, have my finances well set out, but I would be the one willing to take all the risk, the financial risk. If I really believed in the cause, I'd either go to the bank or the credit union, set it up and launch it, and then get people interested and they may invest. But the person launching the idea should be the one who's putting all the money into that project, and then I'd have no problem with people asking for donations, because I know that person has taken the risk themselves and will take all the losses if that particular project fails. That would inspire me to give people money, and I have done over the years. Okay, I think all of the points made about you, Niall, were truthful and valid points. I suppose basically that's it. I just want to emphasise once more that what people felt, I know a couple of people, was genuine, just anger. It was a justified anger, and it was out of concern for other people. I've learned in life that you can't help people that don't want to be helped. If people see you as the future leader of the Irish movement, that's irrelevant to me. As I said, I'm independent. I don't speak for anyone, only myself. I don't put my faith in men, in all honesty. There are men I admire and respect, but I'm not going to become a worshipper of theirs. If they're called out for doing things that people are concerned about, yes, do that. If anything, if I give out misinformation in this video, call me out. Okay, I'm a big boy, I can take the criticism. I'm not peddling in lies. I'm basing this whole argument on what I have observed over time in your regard. All that people wanted was transparency. That's all they wanted. People just wanted to know where all this money was going. And I think it's valid. I didn't see any anger or malice behind the people that asked for that transparency. You did, however, deflect away from yourself and onto the other people, which raises a red flag for me. In your most recent video there, again you deflected. You didn't address the cause for your website. Now, if you're personally paying for that, the best of luck to you. The best of luck to you. If you're taking all that money out of your own pocket, well then, well and good. If you're not, I could care less either way. As I said, I'm an independent nationalist. If you're the future of nationalism in Ireland, the best of luck to you. I hold no ill will towards you. The anger I experienced was a just anger. A just anger doesn't stay with a person. They say what they have to say, but they don't hold on to that anger. And even the individual I was talking about, who made those comedy videos about you, his anger was just as well. But everything he said was truthful, and his heart was and is in the right place because he was concerned about people. And there's one or two other people, that content creators, who were also genuine, and I didn't detect anything malicious or hateful. And as a Catholic, Niall, there is such a thing as just anger. A just anger is something that we express, but we don't hold on to. As I said, I hold no ill will towards you. I'm not holding on to any anger towards you. I don't hate you. I don't despise you. I merely pointed out basically my arguments were based on truths. I didn't call you out for the sake of calling you out, and as I said originally, it was in defence of those who have been at this for decades. Whether you like them or not, well, that's completely, that's up to you. I don't think any of your critics hold ill will towards you, Niall, in all honesty. However, I think it's incumbent upon you to explain to people why you're spending the money you're spending on your website. Are people paying for your trips to Europe? Are all your expenses being paid? I was just made aware of a project. I don't know if your supporters financed that, a beer mat, and there were questions about that, but that's neither here nor there. I have no interest in you personally, Niall. I hold no ill will towards you. But be transparent about the money people have given you, and get an independent auditor or accountant, and show people what the money has gone on. I think that's very important that you do that, considering the sums of money you've received. Some have suggested it was up to €60,000 over a very short period of time. I can't confirm that, I don't know. But these are the issues you need to be addressing, and stop deflecting. Stop pointing the fingers at others. It's you, Niall, that people want to see the transparency from. And people are going to doubt your sincerity if you're not willing to be transparent with that. We all know about election money, yes. The books are there in regards to where that money went and how much you received and all. But there's also the other things, you know, people hand you cash on the street and that kind of thing, which obviously wouldn't be accounted for. But I think the most important thing for you, Niall, is to be transparent. Show people, show receipts. I think it's only fair that you do that. Even charities have to do that, registered charities. They have to show their books, money that comes in and money that goes out. I think to the advisors you have behind you, I think you maybe need to look at their histories. Many of us have been around a long time. I'm not going to call out that person, but I've been aware of them for many, many years. And I personally would be very careful there. That's just a piece of genuine advice and concern for you. As I said, I've no ill will towards you. And as a fellow Catholic, can I also express some concern? You mentioned in your video that, I don't know, was it you're going on a podcast or a stream with Tradcat Knight? I've known Tradcat Knight for a very, very, very long time. And as a Catholic, I would advise you to have nothing to do with him. Based on my experience with him, he's toxic, and I think he'll do more harm than good to your brand. And that's, as a fellow traditional Catholic, you can take that advice or ignore it. It's up to you. I don't think I've much more to say. As I said, I hold no ill will towards you. None whatsoever. And transparency, Niall. That's all people are asking for. And the people asking for that transparency are not haters or malicious people. They're just concerned. And as I said in the last stream, I was going to block some of your minions that came on that were posting comments under that video, and I did block some of them, and I'm not making any apologies for that. Many of the people that follow you are supposedly truth seekers, and yet when the truth is put before them from genuinely concerned people, they react in a most vicious and vile way. As I said, I want to be truthful. I want justice, and as an act of brotherly love. That may sound corny to many people, but we are genuinely concerned. Okay? I wish you well. If people are going to support you and continue giving you money for all your whatever it is you're doing, I honestly could care less. There's absolutely nothing in this for me. I make absolutely nothing from this. In fact, I've probably made God knows how many more enemies. But I've been at this for so long, I couldn't care less, in all honesty. And the other people, particularly that chap that made the comedy videos, I'm sure he's after getting an awful lot of abuse. But again, his motives were genuine. He had absolutely nothing to gain by calling you out, Niall. So I've basically said all that I wanted to say. I wish you well. I have no ill will towards you. But I would say, Niall, don't be surprised if people continue to call you out. Expect that. I'm not going to make any more videos about you. But if you're not going to be transparent, which you haven't been, and if you're not transparent in the future, expect people to call you out. They're just going to keep doing it and claiming they're haters, or they're dividing the movement and giving the left ammunition. That's absolute nonsense, Niall. Absolute nonsense. No one gives a rat's ass what the left think. Like, to be concerned about what the left think is absolute nonsense. There's infighting all the time within the leftist movement. Sure, look at the distance that issued death threats against the leadership of Sinn Féin. You know, like, we're not threatening to kill each other, man. You know, but the left do. So don't worry about the left. Forget about them. They're insignificant. Okay. Look, take care of yourselves out there, and God bless.